Bonjour! In this video, I will be talking about dress patterns, the two-piece and the one-piece dress pattern. And one of these is 100% hand sewn. Take a guess which one it is. I will reveal it at the end of the video. So starting with the two-piece dress, I'm starting with this one because I just cut out pieces that I already had. And that's how I made my two-piece dress. I simply use my bodice pattern front and back, my skirt pattern front and back, and my sleeve. And I just cut those out onto fabric, sew it together, and that's how I achieved my two-piece dress. I made no adjustments. I did nothing else to my patterns, just cut the pieces out and sew them. I did short sleeves because that's what I had fabric for. And for my skirt pattern, when I was making it, I did make sure that my dot legs started at the same distance from the center front that it does on the bodice. I did so for the front and for the back. I made sure my dot legs started at the same distance. And so I cut everything out. That's what it's looking like. I did hand sew all of my dots on the two-piece and the one-piece. So stay tuned for a video on that. I will have that coming soon. So I sewed everything together, and this is what everything came out looking like. This is my dress pattern. I am not satisfied with my dress patterns. I have never been, but it doesn't stop me from making clothes. So I want to encourage anybody who may not like their patterns that is made from their measurements to be encouraged and keep going, keep making clothes. Eventually, you will find out something that works for you. That's what I'm hopeful for, that something will work out for me. But I still make clothes, and people can't tell that I have drag lines, even though they're right there and all over my garments sometimes. But people can't tell. They compliment me and telling me how good my clothes look and how talented I am if they know that I make it. But yeah, don't let anything stop you. I really think that if you don't let something stop you, it's not gonna bother you as much. So I just continue on. That's why I'm not so bothered, and I'm just hopeful that eventually I'll find out what I need to do to make my pattern right for my body. So I wanted to show my pants because my pants pattern come out differently. I don't have the drag lines on my hips as I do on my skirt. And that is because I have hip dips. That's why I have the drag lines going. And I also have I have muscular thighs that's causing some stuff to happen with my clothes. However, no matter how tight I make my bottom, I still have proof. I still have something that shows that I have hip dip. So it is what it is. I love my body. I'm grateful for it, and I'm just going to use what I have. That's what I have to work with, and that's what I'll work with. And I'm just gonna continue to make clothes as long as my pattern is made to my measurement. I will just continue to make stuff, and eventually something will work out. That happened for my bodies. I never found a bodice or even skirt pattern that I was satisfied with until I continued to make stuff, and then light bulb moments happen. And so for my one piece pattern, my one piece dress pattern, I used my torso pattern and I just extended it. So I did make adjustment on this one. I extended my pattern pieces to my knee length measurement. And that's how I came to my one piece dress pattern, by using my torso pattern. So I did make this one more like a pencil skirt by going in 1.5 inch from the side seam at my hem, and I did then have to make adjustment at my hips, but I do have 1 inch ease around my hips, so that was fine. And still, my hips look more rounded. So the way for me to reduce the volume at my hips would be for me to make it more straight instead of curvy, and that would shorten my waist to hip measurement a bit. But that often leads to me losing some of my hips measurements. Anyways, that's my one dress piece. That's what it's looking like. I don't like it. I don't often make one piece dress pattern, not fitted ones at least. I usually go for semi-fitted ones. I make semi-fitted dresses when I'm making one piece dresses, or I make just loose ones. Or I think this one is mental because I have hip dips and it just makes things look fuller. So a lot of times, I make drop waist dresses. I love making those. I truly think that's mental because of my hip dips and just how full these make my hips look. So I go for them a lot. And yeah, overall, that's just what my patterns are looking like. I don't have a full tutorial for you because I don't feel confident with my dress patterns. Same with my sleeves. That's why I don't have a tutorial for you, because I don't feel confident about my sleeves. With my skirt and bodice, no matter what I make with them individually, everything comes out looking right for me. despite me putting my skirt to my dress to make my dress, it's not working with my dress pattern. It works individually. So I that works for me. But with dresses, so that's why I'm hopeful that things will work out because it's just something that I'm missing here because my skirt works for me. I mean, there's still proof on my skirt that I do have hip dips. It's just not as obvious as it is on my dress pattern. So I'm missing something that's making it not work for my dress patterns. But eventually I'll figure it out. But I'm just gonna continue making clothes and yeah, things will work out. Light bulb moments will happen. And that is all for my dress patterns. I just wanted to talk about them. This is what the one piece is looking like. And this is a two piece. That's what it's looking like. I look like a flight attendant here. I am not. And this is a comparison between the two for the front. And I did a comparison for the side as well. That's what they are looking like. And then my back as well. I made comparison. I took comparison pictures. That's what they're looking like. So I have the two piece laid down, my one piece and my two piece with the waist seam. And the one that's 100% hands on is the two piece with the waist seam. And I enjoy the process. I do have a few videos coming up on hand sewing. So yeah, I am transitioning into hand sewing now for a little bit until I go back into pattern making again and hopefully garment tutorials. That's really what I want to do. And that's why I did the pattern making series. So that when I make garments and people ask me, how did you do this? How did you come to this? I can just point them to a video. But it's not because I know everything about pattern making. It's just because I wanted to have the videos there so that maybe it will help somebody else, even if it doesn't work for me always, but maybe it might work for somebody else. But yeah, I use the combination of backstage, regular backstage, and reverse backstage for my seams. That's how I finish my dress. But anyways, this is all for this video. For my waist seam, I used reverse backstage halfway, and then I used the regular backstage. When it's looking straight like this and neat as this, it is a reverse backstage because it's just straight. It's almost like I feel like a stem stitch and an outline stitch is the same thing, and that's just what it is. That's a reverse backstitch in my opinion. For my zipper, I used, of course, you have two sides of the zipper. So, and I wanted to start both sides from the neck part. So, in order for me to do that, I had to do regular backstitch on one and reverse backstitch on the other side. This was the regular backstitch. That's why it's looking neat on this side. And then the other side was the reverse backstitch. For my sleeve, to attach my sleeve to my bodice, I used running stitch for gathering my sleeves and creating and just to ease it into my bodice. I used running stitch and then I used the reverse backstitch to stitch my sleeve onto my bodice. That's how I made that work. And that's what it's looking like. I do think the reverse backstitch gives you a more sturdy look. I feel like it looks more secure to me, although it's the same exact thing as a backstitch. It just looks more organized because you're doing it in reverse and you can control the position of your thread, which makes everything come out looking neat. So it's just like the embroidery stitch. But it's just it's a reverse backstitch in my opinion. And this is the zipper. When I zip it up, that's what it's looking like. I almost got it perfect. I was off by like 1/16 of an inch to get my waist seam to match. But this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.